Yo, the enemy's public, I gotta keep my eyes open. Pay attention, stop walking around like you blindfolded. This not the World Cup, but Nasir be kicking knowledge. This is the type of information you can never learn in college. It's time to fight back, it's no more trying to play it cool. We got interviews, podcasts, and got the latest news. So sit back and relax, we about to get it started. Earth is a canvas, and guess who's the con artist? They brainwashing us, the system corrupted. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. You are now rocking with the enemy's public. I said you are now rocking with the enemy's public. Hey.
Peace. This is the enemy's public. I am Bro.Nasir. This evening, I want to go over rogue, corrupt cops. And I want to show our people and the people our tax dollars at work against us. It will act up now.
This is a repeat of his outrageous behavior and his clear intention that he never intends to appear before this commission.
Now at 6, more heat on LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva, who skipped today's hearing and could face a contempt charge if he doesn't show up next month. That hearing is looking into accusations of rogue gangs within the department. Today, Villanueva defended his actions not to the committee, but to CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen.
Sporting tattoo from Century Station.
The LA County Sheriff Civilian Oversight Commission heard testimony about tattoos and practices linked to so-called deputy gangs and cliques from a former chief and a current chief of the department. But Sheriff Alex Villanueva declined to testify after he was subpoenaed.
I think this is his 6th non-appearance.
And we've testified 4 times now to the Oversight Commission.
Under Sheriff Tim Murakami was a no-show as well. Both Murakami and Villanueva will be held in contempt of court if they don't appear at the next hearing. The sheriff says he wants a format change with an opening statement, the ability to cross-examine witnesses, and a preview of the topics discussed.
I just need to know what exhibits, what information, what evidence they want to present so I can prepare.
We've had many witnesses
This devil wants to intimidate witnesses. Everybody know that the LA County Sheriff's Department is a bunch of damn Hispanic white supremacists with tattoos, with matching tattoos. They go around and they terrorize citizens of Los Angeles. Everybody knows that because they have actual whistleblowers who are a part of the department who reported them. And a lot of them got their lives threatened and their livelihood threatened and their jobs threatened.
Testify. It's been fine. They've done the best they can. We understand, but we're not going to preview our evidence and our questions for him.
The commission plans to submit a written rejection to Villanueva's proposal.
at the direction of county council, we're not allowed to ask if someone is a part of a subgroup.
Chief April Tardy told the panel she couldn't ask whether deputies are part of a subgroup without an active investigation. She cited guidance going back to 2014.
Unless there is an evidence of misconduct, I don't go to somebody, hey, show me your tattoos. That just does not pass legal muster.
Law enforcement asks people questions all day long, and we certainly ask young people.
They want us to believe, Sheriff Villanueva wants us to believe that, even if we find 50 LA County Sheriff Department officers with matching tattoos, he wants us to believe that they're not a gang, some type of gang in the rank and file of the LA County Police Department or Sheriff Department.
People in the streets if they're members of gangs every day. And there's no reason we can't do the same in the Sheriff's Department.
A date for the next meeting hasn't been set, but the commission is planning to invite county council to discuss whether deputies can be asked if they belong to a subgroup. In downtown Los Angeles, Jeff Nguyen, CBS 2 News.
I'm going to show you a video here that is a little bit hard to watch. So if you are not inclined to see something like that, or if you're watching with kids, this is your fair warning if you want to just look away for a minute. Okay, here it is. This is security video from the San Fernando courthouse in Los Angeles County. This video was obtained by the LA Times, and it shows a prisoner, a man in handcuffs. You see in the blue trousers there and the white colored shirt. His name is Enzo Escalante. It starts with him punching an LA County Sheriff's deputy, and then you see him get wrestled to the ground. Then, though, one of the deputies that wrestled him to the ground puts his knee on the prisoner's head and continues to kneel on his head for 3 solid minutes, which left that man on the ground alive, thankfully, but pretty well beat up. And if there's elements of that video that feel familiar to you, it's important to note the timing here. That incident took place last year on March 10th, 2021. Which happens to have been 2 days after jury selection had started in the very highly publicized trial of Derek Chauvin, the Minneapolis police officer who was convicted of murdering George Floyd, specifically by kneeling for minutes on end on the neck of George Floyd. Well, it was a reporter at the LA Times named Aileen Chekmedian who published this video last month, along with reporting alleging that the LA County Sheriff's Department, up to and including the sheriff himself, had attempted to cover up the incident because they feared the negative light this incident could shed on the department. The sheriff himself has maintained that he didn't know about this until months after it happened. He says he didn't cover anything up. He says he relieved the deputy of duty immediately after he became aware of what had happened. Well, yesterday, that same LA Times reporter, Aileen Chekmedian, added to the story, reporting that an LA County Sheriff's Department commander had filed a new legal claim, contesting all of those denials from the sheriff, alleging specifically that the sheriff had viewed a video of the incident just 5 days after it occurred, not 8 months later, which is what he claimed. The commander further alleges that Sheriff Villanueva said to the group he watched the video with, quote, "We do not need bad media at this time." So the LA Times publishes the disturbing video. The sheriff says, "I had no idea. We didn't cover that up. As soon as I found out about it, I took action." A commander on his own force says, "That is not true. You absolutely knew about it, and you did cover it up." That's where the story stood as of yesterday. Where it went today is absolutely bananas. Because today, LA County Sheriff Villanueva convened a press conference to dispute all of this reporting, And what he did at this press conference that is now causing a fresh round of headlines is that he got up at this press conference today in person and he put up a big poster for everyone to see. The poster had 3 large photos on it. One on the right is the LA Times journalist who did this reporting. Also, another photo is one of his political rivals for the elected position of LA County Sheriff. And the third photo was the LA Sheriff Department Inspector General, who investigates things like this. The reason he put up the photo of those 3 is because the sheriff announced today that all 3 of them are now subjects of a criminal investigation into how the LA Times reporter, Aileen Chekmedian, got that security footage. They're all the subjects of a criminal investigation now by his office. He says they're all being investigated now for possible felonies like conspiracy and burglary and unauthorized use of a database. He put up all this list of potential crimes. All while the LA Times reporter, Aileen Chekmedian, was in the front row covering the press conference for this paper, while the sheriff puts up her picture as a possible perpetrator who is often.
This is what they do when they're caught breaking the law and violating people's rights. You know, they go up to the podium and say, we have investigated ourselves and we found no wrongdoing.
Office is going after. This decision by the sheriff today to announce a criminal investigation into this reporter certainly looks like retaliation. The executive editor of the LA Times put out this statement tonight, citing the sheriff's attempt to criminalize news reporting, saying it goes.
Sheriff Alex Villanueva should be going through the same thing that Sheriff Spicuzzo of Middlesex County in New Jersey went through as soon as he retired as sheriff. The sheriff of Middlesex County in New Jersey was arrested, and he was indicted, arrested, convicted of so many crimes. Like, you know, he was accepting payoffs for sheriff officers being hired on the job, $25,000, $30,000, $50,000. People were actually paying to get the job. He was actually accepting bribes and charging people to actually get the job. And he ended up going to prison. Not the time he should have served, but he ended up being indicted, convicted, and going to prison. And they tried to give him a slap on the wrist. He asked for leniency because of his health, but why they don't give that type of leniency and mercy because of someone's health? So this is a man who was the sheriff for a long time in Middlesex County in New Jersey. And as soon as he wasn't sheriff, his ass went to jail, which is where Alex Villanueva belongs.
Goes against well-established constitutional law. Quote, we will vigorously defend Chekmedian's and the LA Times' rights in any proceeding or investigation brought by authorities. This story started off bad in Los Angeles. Today, it took a very, very dark turn.
Fair use.
Now to more on an Eyewitness News investigation, the alleged sheriff's deputy gang that has branded its members the Executioners. Today, city leaders in Compton say they're fed up. They're calling for a federal investigation. And as Carlos Granda reports, the mayor of Compton herself is speaking out about her own harrowing experience.
They terrorize the community, and then they cover their tracks. It is unacceptable.
Is the Compton Sheriff Station being run by the Executioners, a gang of rogue deputies with matching tattoos? Sheriff Alex Villanueva denied it last week, but today Compton's own mayor, Asia Brown, shared her own experience being pulled over by Compton deputies in June of last year.
And I rolled the window down and asked, why was I being pulled over? Within seconds, almost 7 to 9 sheriff's deputy vehicles descended upon the scene. They ordered me out of my vehicle, and they asked me to put my hands on top of the police vehicle so they can search me as if I were a criminal. Mind you, I was accompanied by my husband and my infant daughter in the back seat. I do not look like someone that is trafficking drugs. I was in my family vehicle.
Her baby crying, her husband and car searched for drugs. Asia Brown says deputies let her go after they realized she is the mayor. But even after filing a complaint, Mayor Brown says she's received no satisfactory answers from the Sheriff's Department.
It's unacceptable. We will send a clear message to the LA County Sheriff's Department that you clean your house. You get your house in order, or we will surely help you do that. You have executioners, you have gangs in your own house.
News of the executioners came to light last week in a claim filed by Compton deputy Art Gonzalez. He says executioner deputies at the Compton Patrol Station celebrate shootings with tattoo parties, set illegal arrest quotas, and retaliated when he tried to blow the whistle. Compton community members say that sadly this is nothing new. Derek Cooper was arrested by Compton deputies last fall in front of the kids he leads in a youth academy.
I don't even know what I'm being arrested for. I was shipped in a bus down to, the county jail. I was so humiliated to be locked in.
And this racist bastard is still walking around free. That's why I say there's no black and brown alliance. These Hispanics, especially in LA, are outright wannabe, honorary, white supremacist. That's who they are. And they come over here, and I can guarantee if you check their status is not marked Hispanic, it's marked white, because the American dream is coming to the United States and becoming white. White is a status.
In a shower, butt naked, with over 200 men, waiting to be processed.
Jermel Henderson, a successful restaurant owner and new father, pulled over at gunpoint and detained last month by a Compton sheriff's deputy.
She hopped out the car very aggressive with her gun drawn. Like, for no reason, I asked her why she's doing that. She said, "Oh, this is what we do in Compton," and it's horrible. It's horrible.
But time may be up for Compton deputies. City leaders say they're calling for a federal and state civil rights investigation, and they're exploring options to terminate their contract for law enforcement with the Sheriff's Department.
We demand justice from the Compton Sheriff, and we will no longer continue to pay you $22 million and up to terrorize this community.
I'm Carlos Stranda, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
The LA County Sheriff's Department released a statement saying in part, quote, "We are aware of the allegations regarding Compton Station and have launched multiple investigations. Early on, the sheriff invited the FBI to conduct their own investigation, and information is actively being shared with them." Hello, I'm Mark Brown. Click the ABC7 logo to subscribe to our Eyewitness News YouTube channel.
Developing tonight, newly revealed court documents appear to show a deliberate cover-up related to the existence of deputy gangs at the LA County Sheriff's Department. An oversight board says numerous studies and investigations have concluded that sheriff gangs continue to operate and threaten public safety. Here's our investigative reporter, Eric Leonard.
But I think it all boils down to the fact that sheriffs are elected, and it's sacrificing public safety for power.
That's LA County Sheriff's Lieutenant Larry A. Waldy testifying today that deputy gangs, cliques, or subgroups continue to exist and exert control inside the sheriff's department. Waldy says while he was assigned to the Compton station, members of the Executioner's deputy gang controlled overtime, access to the best assignments, and celebrated violence. He testified that when he refused to put an Executioner's member in charge of scheduling, the gang retaliated by ordering a weeks-long work slowdown that appeared to lead to an immediate spike in violent crime.
Is there an effect upon the community with increased crime and a police slowdown?
Yes, sir.
And how would you describe that?
I would say that public safety is jeopardized.
The hearing at the Sheriff's Civilian Oversight Commission is among the latest efforts to expose and figure out what can be done about these deputy subgroups that have been part of the sheriff's culture for generations. Earlier, the county's Inspector General, Max Huntsman, testified that some newly public documents suggest someone at Sheriff's headquarters even instructed Internal Affairs not to ask about the East LA deputy gang called the Banditos when they investigated a 2018 off-duty deputy-on-deputy beating.
But I believe it also amounts to obstruction of justice. And that obstruction of justice, again, rests with Captain Burson and the sheriff who gave that instruction. If the sheriff gave that instruction.
Sheriff Villanueva has denied these deputy groups are much more than social clubs.
This is a face. I repeat, this is the face of a damn devil who needs more than a talking to.
The sheriff has ridiculed Huntsman, the oversight panel, and reports that have concluded the deputy gangs exist like this.
This is their tattoo. The tattoo of the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department gang inside the rank and file, the Executioners. A white Hispanic gang that terrorize Black people in the county of Los Angeles in California.
This Rand Corporation study released last fall. A current East LA deputy, testifying by audio only with his voice disguised to protect his identity, says the Banditos run amok because of a lack of leadership.
The captain at the time would befriend the Banditos.
And later, candidate for sheriff and retired Commander Eli Vera said Sheriff Villanueva lied to the public when the sheriff said he cleaned house at East LA and transferred out dozens of deputies tied to the Banditos.
What about this suggestion of the 36 people who were transferred? Were those the leaders and the Banditos who were occupying East LA? It was not.
Deputies who are said to be members of that Executioner's gang at the Compton station have been linked to a number of on-duty shootings, including that of Andres Guardado, whose family says was shot in the back. That case is still under investigation. The oversight hearing and yet another newly initiated investigation into deputy gangs are supposed to lead towards some sort of reform. But the Oversight Board does not have the authority to enforce any changes. That power still lies with the sheriff or maybe some outside law enforcement agency like the FBI. I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News.
The 30th of January, 1930.
Yes, brothers and sisters, this is our tax dollars at work against us. $22 million a year for the sheriff's department to terrorize the citizens of LA County. And the sheriff is what they call a person of color, what they call a brown man. Don't look brown to me, but he's called a brown man. I guess the lighter you are and the closer to white you are, the bigger and better your status is. Mm-hmm. Yet Sheriff Villanueva, under his leadership as sheriff, terrorized our people. He's no longer sheriff now. What I'm not understanding is that they're not prosecuting him and bringing him to justice. This is The Enemy's Public. I am Bro.Nasir. Like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Peace.